pulled up to what was a basement fire in a large church, old stone building, built back in the early 1900s. We arrived, all reports of the fire was in the basement, crews were in the basement working. We entered the stairs, no smoke, no heat. We all went up to the second floor, got up into the second floor. We were making our progress, we were checking, we were opening some windows. We were moving along pretty good, and got all the way around to the front of the building. We could see our apparatus, we could see other firefighters coming in and out of the church. At that point, one of our guys had, a low alarm. His bell started going off, so we decided, hey, it's time to go. And we started heading towards the stairs. And at that point, conditions started to get worse.
They had deep wells that went down to this basement area, and they had, solid doors on there, and they wanted these doors open. We went down and we started popping these, tried to get these doors open for them. And, one of the guys, he was empty, he was low on air. So, we backed out and we came to the A-B side of the building, which was a field right next to the church. Bent over, got my bottle changed, and I heard a whoosh.
Needed to find another way out. So I knew where everybody was. They were at the front, and we looked out the side windows. We knew that no one would ever know that we were there if we took out a side window. So we made our way back to the front window. I had a hand light in my hand, and I punched out a bunch of glass.
So I looked up, I saw the whole back of the church light up. And that's when the hand goes through the window. And I'm like, holy, these guys are up there, and there's bars on the window. How are they going to get out?
The construction of the windows were, on average, if they were 10 inches wide, we were lucky, But the light stayed in the window, and they knew we were in trouble. So the guys on the ground had their work cut out for them.
We immediately threw ground ladders. It was myself and a couple other people, and I was the first guy up the ladder. I had a saw in my hand, and I remember my adrenaline going so hard. I actually started the saw as I was getting ready to go up the ladder. I remember getting to the top of the ladder, and I could see the one firefighter, and his face was, I'll never forget it. Get me out of here. You have to get me out of here. And I just took the saw, and it was a chainsaw type blade, and I just started hacking on the bars. And I believe I ripped every tooth off that saw, and it wasn't working. So I threw that down. Next thing I know, the aerial came over my head, and they smashed the bars with the aerial. And it opened up enough area to get the first firefighter out. I literally carried him down the ladder, and we took him out to the street because he was pretty much out of air at that point. Yeah, and by the time I turned around, the second firefighter came out, and then I remember Joe coming out the window, and right behind him, that room just lit. It just flashed, and it was, his feet weren't even out fully out the window yet. Because you came out head first. Yeah, the other firefighters had gone up at that point, and it lit off. It was, it was crazy.
So I never went down a ladder head first. None of us had, but that day we did. Tony grabbed me and he pulled me out and he says, "Hey Joe, how many are in there?" And I said, "There was 3 of us. You got 3. I should be the last one." He goes, "Yep, you're the last one." I said, "Then let's get the hell out of here." And he carried me down the ladder. And at the bottom of the ladder, I gave him a huge hug. Best feeling in the world. Best feeling in the world.
Because Joe had the burns on his face, I didn't really see him till we got back to the station. And I remember when he came in, I just gave him a big hug. I started to tear up because, it was a very emotional thing. And like I said, I'm thinking of, this guy's got a daughter, newborn at home. Like, this is incredible. Like, could have came out really bad.
One of the toughest things for me was, I was sitting in the back of the engine room, everybody was back. I had already been back, and we, made sure I was okay. And I could hear these high heels coming in the station. And I knew who it was. It was my wife, and she heard that it had worked. The firemen had been trapped. She heard where the fire was. They didn't give our names out because they really didn't know who at that time. I saw her face, and she came up. Everybody okay? Yep, everybody's okay. You okay? Yep, everybody's okay. All right. She gave me a kiss and a hug and said, "All right, you're okay. I'm going back to work." She looked at me and she said, "I knew it was you." She said, "I know it was you." I said, "Well, I had a lot of guys come out and save me, so we're good.